Hey YouTubers, Darren here from Grass Ranch Garage. Hey YouTube, Darren with Grass Ranch Garage, and today we're replacing a Briggs and Stratton overhead valve head gasket. After you drain all the oil out of the engine, remove the two 10mm bolts at the front of the blower housing and the two on the back of each corner on the blower housing. After you remove the 4 bolts, remove the entire blower assembly. Just pick straight up and try to get the dipstick cap through the hole in the opening and remove the entire blower housing assembly. Now we can begin to remove the valve cover on the front of the engine. There's 4 bolts holding it on. 10mm. It's also a good idea to place a rag or something to absorb the oil that will come out when you remove the valve cover. Once you remove the valve cover, you'll want to rotate the engine by hand until both valves are closed, like such. These should be loose, these rockers. Then you'll want to loosen the Allen inside the bolt head and then the bolt head itself to remove the rockers and the push rods so you can unbolt the head. Next, be careful, remove your shims, remembering which one goes where. Now you should be able to spin the rocker arm and remove your push rods. Aluminum push rod for the intake side, steel push rod for the exhaust. These push rods appear to be the same exact length, however the steel one for some reason was on the intake side and the aluminum was on the exhaust, which is backwards. Also, tell by the ball, there are 2 completely different push rods. I'll have to do some more research on this one, but the push rods should look the same and their position should be reversed when working on your own. Next, remove the spark plug wire and place out of the way. Now you can remove the intake manifold bolts located here and here, 10mm as well. The intake removed, come over to the other side using a T40 torque screwdriver and remove the 2 bolts holding the exhaust. Once the bolts are removed, the exhaust manifold should lift up out of the muffler. 8 spark plug socket, remove the spark plug from the cylinder head. Now with a 10mm socket and extension on your ratchet, you can remove the 8 cylinder head bolts. Now with all your head bolts removed, the head should just pop off, like such. Well, the head gasket stuck pretty good to the head and the cylinder, but I'm not sure if you guys can pick this up or not on the camera, but if you see right here, this black ring of carbon, and then brown, and then black again, that's where it was blowing by past the head gasket, out underneath the engine. Now that you have the head off the cylinder, you can now take some medium grit sandpaper, 2 to 400, and clean the cylinder head surface and the cylinder surface itself so that when you install your new head gasket, it'll seal properly.